What's up guys, it's Nelson from Jolly Roger Airsoft, and today we're going to be taking a look at the A&K Masada. Now this is a very unique Airsoft replica. There are only really two major Airsoft replicas of the Masada out there. This is the A&K version for $290, and for $290 you basically get a cool trophy gun, because this gun is not the best reliability wise or performance wise, but yeah, for $290 you do not get a very good performing gun, but you do get a very cool looking replica of a unique real steel gun, and that's where it gets most of its points. So yeah, we'll be back after a quick history lesson. This is the A&K Masada.
Magpul Industries Corporation was founded in 1999 by former Marine Sergeant Richard Fitzpatrick to sell the original Magpuls, rubber devices attached to the bottom of magazines to make reloading faster. The Masada was the first complete firearm developed by the company. The name Masada comes from the siege of Masada between the Romans and the Jews. The Jews held the high ground, forcing the Romans to build ramps to advance on the fortress. The citizens of Masada killed themselves when the ramp was nearly complete to avoid becoming Roman slaves. The Jews of Masada left their food out to show the Romans that they were in no danger of starving, but would rather face death than become their slaves. Magpul was inspired by the story of defiance, and named their project after it. They make it very clear that they are not Jewish nor Israeli backed. Magpul developed the prototypes for the 2007 SHOT Show. In 2008, Bushmaster Firearms International partnered with the Magpul team and renamed the rifle the ACR, Adaptive Combat Rifle, under the Bushmaster name. The Bushmaster ACR is one of the new generation of rifles, with the FN SCAR, HK416, and the Robinson Arms XCR. It can be configured to accept STANAG and AK style magazines, and can have several barrel lengths. In 2010, Bushmaster called for a recall involving a small number of performance issues with a small number of ACRs, which is not officially in service with the US military. The ACR has been mostly made famous by the Call of Duty Modern Warfare series, and that is the main inspiration behind the widespread production of this gun in the airsoft world.
Alright, so we are back with the A&K Masada. Now, externally this gun is pretty solid and pretty well built. You have a metal upper receiver, metal outer barrel, plastic flash hider, a pretty solid polymer handguard, polymer lower receiver, polymer stock, stock side folds, as you can see. It's also adjustable, which is a very cool feature of the Masada platform. Now, to take out the handguard, just like most other handguards on Mark 36s and such, there's a pin here in the front handguard, and yeah, you just pop it out and it'll slide right off. My buddy Eric has lost his pin, so yeah. That's the story behind that. Goes in perfectly, boom. Now the flash hider, with a lot of flash hiders is the case. It's pretty cheap, orange plastic, not the best flash hider, but it, you know, it gets the job done. But I would replace it with something a little more substantial if you're going to be really serious. Charging handle. Here, pull it back. Bolt release is right here on my finger. Boom. And the one thing about the bolt release, it doesn't release it very, it sometimes releases it all the way, and sometimes it really doesn't, like it did right here. So you kind of have to just look. It has a strange kind of hop-up adjustment here and there. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it's not the standard wheel hop-up. But yeah, it's one of the drawbacks of this platform. One of the good things about this platform, it is fully ambidextrous. You can have you have the mag release and the bolt catch on left and right-handed. And it's actually really nice for someone who's transferring from an M4, because the mag release is pretty much in the same spot it is on an M4. So that's not bad. That's one of the things I like. It makes it a little bit easier to cross over to this weapon system. Now, that being said, front sight, it also comes with a rear sight, but my buddy Eric lost his rear sight or doesn't have it on it for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, they're flip up and they have low profile mounts on them, as you can see right here. There's a little nub, that's a low profile scope mount. Now, as you can see, we're going to take this off. Battery compartment is in the handguard. You have your connector here, imitation gas tube made out of metal. The entire outer barrel is metal, and yeah, seems pretty solid externally. But that's not really where it gets into all its problems. The Masada is pretty good externally, it's a really cool, really unique gun. Externals are not the problem, except I can't get this back on. Can I get this back on? Why do I always take the handguards off? Alright, so I got the handguard back on, and it just slides back on like most other handguards on the market. Not a big deal. There's a pin here, as you know. Put it in, lock it, and yeah. Now here, on the stock, you have a button right here that you have to press, and it'll fold to the side. Not really gonna mess with that. Got it? Boom. Now the side, it doesn't lock as securely as I might like in a stock. Like the Mark 36 stock, that locks very well to the side. This doesn't, but it locks pretty well, and it's not going to go anywhere if you're breaching a room or anything. So yeah, just flip it back out, easy. Adjustment, the buttons are here. Just adjust it, you pull, or push, and yeah, you can have plenty of settings for stock length. So yeah, externally, I think that's about it. Now going into the magazine. This is a plastic 300 round, I don't want to say it's a PMag because I'm sure it's not an official PMag, but you know, it is a textured PMag style magazine made out of plastic. It's kind of cool because you can see the BBs in the chamber, and yeah, I think it'd look really cool in a tricked out M4. And it looks okay in the Masada too. It's a very unique magazine and it looks pretty cool, and it feeds pretty well into the gun. Now, that's about it for the magazine and externals. Take a quick break and we'll be going into the internals of this gun.
One shot, one opportunity.
Alright, so we are back and now we're going to be discussing the internals of the A&K Masada. Now, internally this gun has its share of problems. Inherently the A&K brand is not always the most reliable brand of Chinese guns. They make a lot of saws, very popular saws. They make very cheap saws, very cheap M60s, well not very cheap M60s, $400. But they make M60s that are pretty solid. And this Masada is not very internally solid. It has a lot of wiring issues. I don't know all the problems, I don't know all the specifics, but I do know there's been fuse issues, and whenever I see Eric bring it out, it works for a little while or it doesn't work at all. And yeah, it's just not a very reliable gun, and that's one thing I really need in a gun, is reliability. I kind of feel like this gun was made for those COD softers out there. People who wanted to get an ACR to look cool, not so much play as much. Because that's really the audience they're trying to attract with this gun, the COD softers. And it's a cool gun, and if you had the money to redesign the gearbox and redo everything internally, it'd be a pretty cool gun, but if you really want a solid shooting gun, I'd spend a couple $100 more and get the officially licensed Magpul PTS version. That one's a lot better. This one is, it's just not the most reliable internally. Now, it does shoot averagely well. It's nothing spectacular. For a $300 gun, it's not that spectacular. But it does shoot pretty well when it does shoot, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that's pretty much the story on the Magpul, the ACR, the A&K Masada. That's pretty much the story, and yeah, not much else to say about it. It's just not the most reliable gun, and it has its share of problems. And if you're going to get it and you want to make it serviceable, be prepared to spend a lot of money trying to make it serviceable. So yeah, trademarks. I did not go over trademarks. Well, whack they're up. It says made in China here. You have a serial number up here. Pretty bare on the outside. Now on the magazine it says 5.56 by 45 on both sides. So I mean, I guess the magazine tried. And here on the left there's just a Magpul PTS sticker. It's one of those holographic stickers, which is kind of cool. But it's not really tactical, and it's not really trademarked very authentically. Now, Magpul did give A&K the license to manufacture a trademark version of this gun, and I think I haven't seen it in person, but I know they're selling it on AirsoftGI.com for $310, which is $20 more than this gun. And personally, I wouldn't spend $310 on a gun that's not going to shoot very well just for some trademarks that say Magpul on them. So yeah. Other things, textured areas here on the lower receiver. Yeah, on the pistol grip and on the magwell, you kind of have a magwell grip. It's pretty cool. It's a very functional gun, but I can't really give that credit to A&K. I have to give it to Magpul and Remington and whoever else designed this gun, because they're just making a replica. I'd highly suggest the upper version, the Magpul PTS version. It's more to scale, it is more realistic, and it is more reliable than this version. So yeah, we'll be right back and show you how it shoots. Alright, so we're out here with the A&K Masada, and it is a bit of a windy day, so that might affect the performance a little bit. We are firing with Airsoft GI Action Army .25 gram BBs at a distance of around 60 feet. Full auto. Smell burning rubber. So I'm getting all right groupings. Hop up does need a little bit of adjustment, but it's not my place to do that. It can reach out and hit things. I'm getting that smell of burning rubber, and I don't like that, so we're gonna call it a day. But yeah, this is the A&K Masada shooting video. Alright, so we are here, and now we're gonna show you how to put the battery in your Masada. Now this is a Bravo 9.6 volt nunchuck battery. That's what my buddy Eric uses in this gun, and so I figured that's what I'll show you guys how to put in. I don't believe this gun comes with a battery from the store, but yeah, there's a pin on the handguard here that you punch out, and then you have to slide off the handguard. Handguard just slides off. Now you put the battery, connect it up, if I can do it, connect it, and stuff the wires in. And I imagine this gun has had some pretty extensive wire work done. You kind of try and slide the handguard back on. I'm not great with these handguards, I'll admit. Not my forte. But, you know, we make do. Now, just kind of slide it on, and I'll be darned, it fits. Alright, so we're back with the A&K Masada, and wrapping up, it's a really cool looking external gun with major internal and reliable. Alright, so we're back with the A&K Masada, and to wrap up, it's a really cool, really solid external build with reliability issues and performance issues in the gearbox and in the wiring. So yeah, I feel like this gun was made for COD softers, and people who just want to look cool, and it is a pretty cool looking and feeling gun. It just doesn't have the performance to back it up, and that's a real bummer. I think if you really wanted to spend a lot of money on this, use this as a body. It's a $300 body. But put in a new gearbox, rewire it completely, I think you'd have some luck. But yeah, thanks for watching Jolly Roger Airsoft. Don't forget to check out our YouTube page, our Facebook page. Subscribe on YouTube, drop us a like, drop us a comment. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them about any of the guns that I review. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out.